Hey, everybody, welcome to another action-packed edition of No Way Jose, starring the Boston Mass, Jose Raymond, and now joining us from Massachusetts, the greatest state in this union of ours. Please welcome Jose Raymond.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah.
Another great introduction. I appreciate it.
You know, I was just on the bostonmass.com. I haven't been on your site in a very long time.
Yeah.
I was curious, but you guys need to check this out. 4 pages of merchandise, some amazing throwback clothes, shirts, sweatshirts from back in the day, marked down. They should be marked up. They should be going up in value, but you guys can get them for a steal right now. And I can tell you from experience with the tank tops especially, Jose got a cut that flatters the physique. A lot of these tank tops you'll get online, they're not going to make you look good. These ones will. They'll make you look jacked. I promise you. The bostonmass.com. That's why I still wear that red one all the damn time. You see, I wear it like at least once a week.
It's really soft too. Great material.
But I'm all about the cut. Trying to be, shows a little bit of the upper pecs. It's cut right under the delt. It's perfect. Perfect. So we solicited some questions. Didn't get any on YouTube. You people on YouTube were lazy. Instagram, however, different story. We got some great questions. Let's get right into it. A guy named Stephen Kane, actually, I think this was the only one on the YouTube. He asked, everyone eats a lot of food. Not everyone has a big gut. Why do people blame food?
Because food is a huge component of why your stomach is sticking out like that. Bodybuilders in general eat a ton, especially when they're trying to grow. And a lot of them have digestive issues as well. So, I mean, you hear those stupid commercials. The average human has 5 to 20 pounds of poop in their gut,
Toxic poop.
I don't know if I believe there's 20 pounds of it, but there's certainly something going on in there. So yes, that is an issue. Are we trying to say that every bodybuilder with a gut is only because of food? No, nobody said that. There's certainly different situations where it's either from abuse of anabolics or GH or anything like that. Oftentimes, it's a lazy bodybuilder who does not practice holding his stomach in, or in a case like Phil's, has a what the hell's a hernia?
Double hernia.
Right. So. It's not like Phil has a huge gut. It's just he can't control it to the degree that some other guys can. So food plays a huge role. I mean, you ever have Thanksgiving dinner and then try to stand up and do a vacuum? Good luck to you. It is what it is. It is a fact. As much as people want to deny it, come on. It is certainly a factor just as much as all those other factors.
And I want to interject or just leave this is everyone thinks they eat a lot, but you and I have both talked to, especially young guys who say, I can't gain weight. I eat a lot of food. And you go, really? Tell me what you ate like yesterday from the time you went. And when they run through a whole day of eating, you realize they had like 3 moderate meals and like a shake or a bar or something. So a lot of these, it's not that everyone eats a lot of food. A lot of people don't eat anywhere near as much food as they probably would need to grow. And if they did, then they would have to be careful because it is going to. I remember Dennis Wolf years ago when we did a column. Dennis had a tiny flat waist, right? You know this. But he said, people talk shit and they would try to take pictures of him in the off season, especially if he was leaving a restaurant he had just eaten. He goes, even me, as lean as he was a fairly lean dude, even at 300 pounds. Even he would have distension because food, think about all that rice and chicken and whatever the hell you're packing in there. And then you're drinking 20, 30 ounces of water along with it. That's going to expand. Yeah. Right.
I always thought I was eating a lot until I started measuring my food. Once I started weighing out 10 ounces of cooked meat and doing that 5 times a day, that is a lot of food.
Yeah. And the coaches, it's not just the CETO, but a lot of people, when they start working with a coach, their first reaction when they get their meal plan is, oh my God, that's a lot of food. I can't eat all that food. And you do eventually, but these are people that thought they were eating plenty of food. And then someone like Chris comes along and shows them, this is how much more you could be eating to get to the goals that you're trying to achieve. Different story. Next question comes from Chris Cormier, the real deal. Honestly, yes. Chris Cormier wants to know, do you miss the old IForce days with Dusty Hanshaw?
Hell yes. That was the most fun I ever had in my entire career. That was for many reasons. You know, I got to be in a company with Jay. I got to be in a company with Victor and Dana and Bailey. You know, but those guys were superstars. So I was always just kind of the assistant. You know, I was just an extra in the gang. When it came to IForce, you know, me and Dusty, that was it. We had the lay of the land, and we traveled the world together, and we got to have input in a lot of the videos, the content that we had. And it was really, really cool because I got to get on board when the company was doing well, but they were still relatively new. So, you know, I got to be the face of a brand and help that brand. And it was just huge, you know, and I love Dusty like a brother. Like we just had so much fun together, and we were very similar in the way we train and the way we look at training and bodybuilding as a whole. So we were, you know, we were really hardcore together, and it worked. It was really cool. I didn't have to have anyone, you know, they used me in the right way. Yeah. Whereas by the time I'd gotten to BPI, you know, they had so many things going on. They were such a big company that they didn't really know how to use me. And I kind of, you know, wasn't used at all much, you know?
Yeah.
So,
you know,
yeah.
I think that's fairly common. If you see a lot of these bigger companies that they'll have a few star athletes that are like the A-list athletes, and they'll have some of the B-listers, and then some people that maybe they're not even pros yet. And you look at you know, they look at you click on our team, and it's like 30 people, but they're only utilizing maybe 10 of those people at the most at any given time. So yeah. But I remember IForce, you were very prominent in the ads, the videos, everything, the marketing.
Yeah, that was the most fun I ever had in my career. You know, when we were with MHP, we were at the Arnold one year, and we had a booth full of like really good guys. You know, it was me, Victor, John De La Rosa, what the heck is, I just ran out of gas.
All right, someone else.
Oh my God, he's gonna kill me for forgetting it. Anyway, we weren't there so much as to be featured at the booth, but to direct the line for Dana and Bailey. You know, one year we had to escort people in and out. Mario Lopez came to our booth to like do interviews, and his PR person asked if we could escort him in and out of the expo. So we were like used as
security
and people to manage the line for Dana. And, you know, it's just an example of we weren't utilized to the fullest extent that we could have been, you know?
I mean, anytime you're in a company and Dana Lynn Bailey is one of the athletes, good luck.
I know.
She's like, you know, she's like a rock star. It's like
exactly
like Beatlemania when that chick hit the expo. I used to see, I don't want to get off topic too much, but she would have a line at all these expos wrapped around the expo. And I saw a lot of young women meeting her, and they were not only were they speechless, they were like bawling, crying their eyes out. They couldn't believe they were actually in front of Dana Lynn Bailey. It was, she inspired.
She had a completely different vibe. I mean, there were people waiting hours in line who've never even exercised.
Yeah.
They just loved her.
The emos, you'd see a lot of, they all had the same, the Dana haircuts and the ripped up clothes and everything. Yeah. Like some goth kids would be there. They're like, what are they? That's how you knew it was Dana's line, because it was a totally different line from any other line in the expo. Like, those people must be in line for Dana. Okay. Training question. Guy named Bigger by the Day, which is a noble cause. We'd all like to be bigger by the day. For arms, should the reps be 8 to 12 or 15 to 20?
So for arms, I can't go very heavy, or you just get stupid sloppy right out of the gate. So if I want to do front delts, then I'll do front delts, you know. But, you know, I can bicep curl, the dumbbell curl, maybe 50 pounds, 55 pounds, but even that starts to get a little swingy, you know. So I prefer to keep the reps in the, 10 to 15, 12 to 15 range. At least 10. If I can't do 10, it's just way too heavy. For triceps, it's a little different because I can isolate the tricep a little better and be stronger without getting too sloppy. So that's a two-part question. The biceps, I certainly have to be more higher rep and more careful. Where with triceps, I can push a lot more. I'm obviously a lot better with triceps than I am biceps.
I mean, I've seen you do close grip bench presses. I want to say 365, maybe 405.
4 plates, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Just recently I did one.
Good Lord.
But I obviously someone built like me is going to be better at pushing than they are pulling. And I have a really long bicep head too for a short guy. So that's doubly not a mechanical advantage to curl a lot of weight.
They grew anyway, clearly.
Pretty much anything, whether it's arms, back, legs, chest. I like to be in a higher rep range.
Well, what about like for close grips, dips, things like that? Would you go a little lower on those?
Not on purpose. If I try 405, I still want to get 10 reps.
Oh, okay.
But sometimes I only get 7. So
only.
So I typically that's why you don't see me doing 405 a ton of times. But some days it feels really good, and I'm like, I'm gonna go up to 405. But typically I'd stay at 315. I can get 315 for 15 to 20 reps on a close grip.
Yeah. Wow, I've seen that. So was it your Instagram stories or as a post? His Instagram is the Boston Mass, guys. 2 E's, the Boston Mass. It was just, flexing your arm to show the detail because some people had accused you of jimmying them up, as you said, which is loading them up with synthol or whatever, any kind of oil. Was that stories or the post?
That was a post, my last post, because a lot of people have said that through the years. They're like, oh, he looked so much better when he was a natural amateur. And, now you can see his arms are all shot up because you don't have the deep separation like you used to. And I'm like, my arm has never really changed. It just got bigger. And I never shot my arms up.
Wondering what the hell I'm doing. Oh, I'm ripping your poster off my wall. Janet is painting the office, so I got to take all the stuff off the wall. And here goes your poster. Oh, this is terrible. But I want to show it to everyone one last time. This has been on my, I just ripped it, guys. I got this shit taped up to my walls like I'm 11 years old, so I'm taking it all down. But this was the picture I've been talking about, all these. Look at that was Jose at 165 or something.
165, yeah.
Wow, look at that.
Right before the World Championships.
Look at that stallion. Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. Bon voyage. So yeah, guys, check that out because you'll see when people do put a bunch of oil in their arms, it's a lumpy look a lot of times, but if there's no lumps, you'll see a loss in separation and detail. And Jose's flexing, you can see like every little fiber, and that's recent. That's now.
Yeah, that was 2018, right? At the Olympia.
Okay. Oh, that was your last Olympia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good times. Okay, finally. No, not finally. We got more questions. Big Mike Cox. This is a good one. Do you think we'll ever see an open or 212 guy win 5 to 6 Olympias in a row, or will we have a new champ every year?
So I don't think we'll have a new champ every year, but I don't think just due to the ages of the current crop, you're going to see like a 7-year champion. Rami's certainly not going to win 7 in a row. He's already in his later 30s, 36, maybe 37. And Sean Clarita's 30, 38, 37, 38. I don't think there's anyone on the, if Lunsford had won one by now already, and his physique wasn't blowing out of this stratosphere, then he might have had an opportunity to stay 212 for a bunch of years and win, but he's just growing at a cataclysmic rate. So he's not even going to be 212 very long anyway.
Wow. And
I don't see him winning a 212 or 2 and then going right into winning open.
Right.
So he's the only one that I'm thinking that's that young that could have a reign. Someone like Nick Walker, if he were to win, he's young enough. I don't think we're going to have a 7-year champion anytime soon. It will probably happen again. Some genetic phenom is going to come out of the blue and have a very successful run.
Yeah.
But as of right now, the current crop of people are either already too old to sustain a run like that, or just aren't ready.
I just don't see anyone that's that dominant, head and shoulders above everyone else, the way like Ronnie Coleman was in his era, Flex Lewis for all those years. Nobody's unbeatable, but some people are so damn good. It's very, very hard to beat them in years.
One that might is Chris Bumstead.
That's what I was going to say.
In the Classic.
Yeah.
Because he won the Olympia last year. And the difference between last year and this year is like two completely different people. And if he can continue to even improve even incrementally upon that in the next coming years, which I'm assuming he can, then we're going to see quite a nice run out of Chris Bumstead. But for bodybuilders, I just don't see anyone there. Maybe Keon comes in and wins this year. And, because he's not even close to the weight cap. Right. And, he got a lot of refining to do, a lot of improvement that he can make. Yet I'm still talking about him being an Olympia champion already. So he's that good, where he's someone who probably could and has the time on his side. We just have to wait and see if he himself is prepared for that.
Yeah, Giles had Bumstead on a couple of weeks ago. Just put the age thing into perspective. If he can win 8 Olympias in a row and retire, he would be 31 years old at that time, which the same thing Lee Haney did, because he just turned 26, which means he won his second Olympia. He was still 25 years old. So
that's crazy. Yeah. So
don't let the mustache fool you. He's older than he's a young kid.
Yeah. Well, that's why I brought his name up, because I think he's got youth and the physique on his side.
Yeah. Okay, here's one you would have an opinion on. I'm just going to sit here and listen, because Mike also wanted to know, do you think the Patriots should have done whatever was needed to keep Tom Brady?
Yes. Absolutely. 1,000,000%. Look what he did. He left and won a Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl with a team who was willing to do whatever it took to surround him with athletes. I don't know if Belichick purposely sabotaged Tom or what the hell happened, but he was not bringing him anything to play with. So Tom had I don't blame him for a second for leaving to go win. And, and they weren't willing to pay him what he was worth. And they didn't surround him with enough players. So yes, they should have, because he'd been taking pay cut after pay cut after pay cut, trying to restructure stuff to make it work here. And they did him dirty. I think, yes, they should have 100%.
I'm curious, do you think maybe you know, maybe you don't know, do you think the Patriots lost a lot of fans when he left because a lot of people were really just Tom Brady fans? They weren't really New England Patriots fans?
Sure, for sure. I mean, so I'll always be a Patriot fan, but I love Tom Brady. So I am definitely a Bucs fan. And I loved every bit of watching him go. After the Patriots disrespected him, or Bill Belichick disrespected him, I loved seeing him leave and win. That is awesome. So
didn't think it was going to happen that fast, though, did you?
No, I mean, because that's unheard of. But Peyton Manning did it. I don't know if he did it in 1 year. In fact, I'm pretty sure he didn't. But that's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. It's just yet one more feather in the cap of Tom Brady to show him not only be the greatest football player ever, but you could argue he's the greatest sports hero of all time, of any sport.
True. Next question, also a Patriots question. Goon, Chris Griffin, wants to know, do the Patriots trade for Jimmy G? Who's Jimmy G?
Jimmy Garoppolo. He's this hot young stud. He's we had him. He was a backup to Tom Brady. Belichick wanted to keep him and get rid of Tom Brady. Since then, he's gone on. He had a $40 million contract, and he got injured. He made a lot of money. He got injured for dumb decisions that you would never see Tom Brady do. He's injury prone. He's going to cost a lot of money, and I don't think San Fran wants to let go of him for anything less than like 3 first-round picks, which is stupid or something like that. But no, I don't think they should go after him. If he falls in their lap and they can get him reasonably, then sure. But no.
All right, fair enough. Now it's back to bodybuilding stuff. Guy named Joe and Kareen wants to know, I guess it's a dual account. At their best, who wins? Kevin English or Flex Lewis?
Saw that. That's a great question. So at their best, Kevin English is 202 and Flex is 210, 212, you know. So Kevin, 1 year, 2010, Kevin was perfect. Like his condition was great. He was so round and so crazy looking. That was a memorable appearance to me. Yeah. But when it comes to the minutia of bodybuilding, the finest of fine little details, I think Flex would win, just because that's that's what they're looking for, and it's a different standard. Kevin had the shape, the width, the taper, the size, obviously. Yeah. But when it comes down to every facet of bodybuilding, when you got to check every box, Flex is in my mind one of the greatest to ever do it. You know,
I'm thinking about structure. Kevin had such wide clavicles. Kevin, I'm trying to think who else had clavicles on that level, because there's not many 212 guys with clavicles as wide as like a 5'11", 6 foot tall man. But Kevin had that. You had that. Anybody who's ever
Eric Lunsford has that.
Oh man, Lunsford.
and Flex has that. Flex is very wide.
He's gotten wider. He's packed a lot of beef on.
The thing with Flex is and I hate to talk great about Sean Ray, but Sean checked every box when it came to presentation and condition and skin and hair and makeup and every fucking last aspect. He nailed everything, and that's what made him such a great bodybuilder and so hard to beat. He was only beat by the best, and he often beat the best. So that's very much how Flex is. When it comes down to every last little detail that it takes to win or to be the best, Flex has everything done. And done ahead of time. He's so hard to beat because every last detail is perfect.
I agree with all that. Next one from a guy named, not Chris, but Christ Angeletti. What is a top supplement that is necessary for growth? I know food is the best, but after that, what one supplement would you recommend for growth?
Honestly?
More food.
No, I mean, obviously testosterone. That is the number one thing out of, you could just take some tests every week and make huge improvements. I don't think you would get the same improvements if you just took Tren, or if you just took DECA, or if you just took EQ, or even if you just took growth. Yeah. I think the number one thing that you need to up in your body hormonally to really make drastic changes is testosterone.
So what about over the counter? What about a legal supplement that you can buy, Vitamin Shop or GNC or whatever? Yeah.
Protein.
Well, that's just food too, right? When you think about it.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe
creatine,
ECAs, essential aminos, or you remember even that should be considered food.
True.
So
even creatine's found in food. You could say that's food derived. Yeah.
Right. So the number one thing would be testosterone. Makes you more aggressive, makes you more, makes you want to lift heavy shit, pick it up and put it down.
It puts more lead in your pencil.
Exactly.
I've been waiting how long to say that? Oh boy. So
Yeah.
John Borges, what do you guys think about intra workout nutrition? Whether it's carbs or aminos, do we need that?
I think so. I'm not a big proponent of it. In fact, I've
Hmm.
um, never come up with this scientific mixture. I know a lot of them. I think John Meadows is big on that.
Yeah.
I've never paid attention to it, aside from having like a bottle of Gatorade in my bag in case I need it, you know. But I typically have Crystal Light or water or coffee while I'm training.
Hmm.
I never really, I eat right before I train. A lot of times you'll see me in some of the videos I do when I'm training. I'm sitting there eating, and then I'll get up and be like, all right, let's go, let's get started.
I don't know
Just
how
because
you
of my schedule.
I don't know how you do it though. I don't know how you go from eating right to training like that. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Evan
I'm
does.
just-
Evan too. Same thing. It's crazy.
Yeah. I'm busy. I gotta get it done, and I can't miss a meal because I'm about to train, you know.
Yeah. I think a lot of people they feel comfortable knowing that those aminos and carbs are in there, even though I feel like if I ate a couple good meals before I trained, or even one really solid meal, and I'm not waiting hours and hours to train, I still have those aminos and all that glucose in my system. I don't necessarily, in my case, I find that if I drink anything sweet when I work out, my stomach just starts doing flip-flops. So water, cold water. But you and Matt, I always remember the Dunkin' Donuts, the big extra large cups. I think Matt spilled his more than once from what I recall.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I always like the coffee because, you know, sometimes pre-workouts get me too whacked. And, you know, if I eat a meal before I train, I feel great. You know, if I'm constantly sipping like a carb powder or something during my workout, then my stomach starts feeling a little weird. I actually threw up last night while I was training.
Oh my gosh.
I was incline pressing, I had like 365 on the bar.
Okay.
And then I puked in my mouth mid set.
Wow.
And I had to like hold on to it and finish my set.
Oh, dude. But had you eaten like right before the workout? Like right before?
Yeah, of course. I actually ate in my car on the way to the gym.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, if I personally an hour, I like an hour or more to pass between finishing the meal and starting the workout, or else that shit might threaten to come back up. And
I mean that would be ideal, but it isn't realistic for me.
Right. We live in the real world. Final question from Ryan Z. When I cook protein, he says in a pan, but I don't think it matters. But when I cook protein in a pan, do I lose protein as it shrinks?
You know, I was trying to figure out what this guy meant by that. Like,
I tried to translate it.
I guess, I mean, supposedly when you cook food, you kill off some of the protein, amino acids in the food. That's why it's best to eat a steak somewhat rare. But yeah, if you cook it, you're like, it's shrinking. A lot of the fluid, the juices are coming out of it. So when you weigh it before it's cooked, it's 10 ounces. After you cook it, it's 7.5, 8 ounces. So yeah, you lose something.
I don't know, but I wonder, is it losing protein or is it just losing like water, you know?
Yeah, I'm not that smart.
Clearly I'm not either.
I would say theoretically, yes, you're losing something, but that's why I always eat more it's always better to eat more.
Yeah. Well, a good example, like I made cod fillets the other night in a toaster oven, big fancy chef that I am. And, you know, they start out like this big, and then by the time they're cooked, they're like that big. So I made a point after that, because I misjudged. I was making them for both me and my son, Christian, and I misjudged. And when they were cooked, I'm like, oh man, this isn't enough for both of us. I'm gonna have to find some more protein somewhere. I will overestimate now. I'll put like an extra piece on there, knowing how much they're gonna shrink. It's psychological. If I see this much fish, I'm like, oh, that's not enough.
It's not.
Well, it's not. Yeah,
because it's designed for the general public, not for you.
Yeah, serving size.
Right.
Serving size, they'll be like, for each fillet, it'll say like 8 grams protein. Like 8 grams of protein. That's enough for like this thumb. What about this thumb over here?
Yeah.
Anyway, that is all the questions. Thank you guys for giving us some good questions. And I want you guys to check out the following: Instagram @TheBostonMass with 2 E's, The YouTube channel, The Boston Mass. Jose does incredible videos. Him and his buddy Nate Tello, they do podcasts, interviews. They go to all over different gyms and train. A lot of cool stuff there. He does Q&As and everything like that. And last but not least, thebostonmass.com. Awesome merchandise on there. There's more than merchandise. You can check out the whole site, but the merchandise alone sections, geez, DVDs, hoodies, sweatshirts, t-shirts, tank tops, all that stuff. You got to check it out now, people. And like I said, a lot of it's discounted already, and then there's like a little discount code at the top. Jose's giving this stuff away. Hurry up and get it now before it's all gone.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you so much, Jose. I appreciate this very much.
My pleasure.
Everybody, please subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Hit the note, like, comment, do all that stuff, please. We need it. We need it all. So next time, we'll see you here at No Way Jose. Thanks for watching.